They went into his apartment already, but they said that the bag is covered in maggots and it's a god-awful smell, like something's rotting flesh or something.
On the morning of September 27th, 2025, at approximately 11 a.m., Louisville Metro Police Dispatch received a call that would expose one of Kentucky's most disturbing criminal cases in recent memory. A landlord, accompanied by 2 maintenance workers, had made a gruesome discovery in the basement of a multi-family residence in Louisville, Kentucky.
And apparently he's associated with Sarah McQuillin. And the property manager came over today to gain access.
What they found was a garbage bag covered in maggots, hidden beneath piles of old carpet, insulation, and debris in a dark crawl space. The smell was overpowering, what witnesses described as the unmistakable odor of death. But this wasn't just another isolated incident.
It's around the back, they said. They said the smell is god-awful. No.
This discovery would be the second body found in connection with 44-year-old Sarah McQuillin in less than 2 weeks. The case would reveal a pattern of violence, deception, and disposal methods that suggested careful planning and a disturbing familiarity with concealing evidence.
Make sure they want to disturb it before we do.
Phew. It's been a while since I've smelled a...
Yeah, that's gonna permeate the uniform the rest of the day.
If we go by the timeline, I think...
What makes this case particularly chilling is not just the brutality of the crimes, but the short timeline between them and the similar methods used to hide the victims. To understand the full scope of this case, we need to go back 7 days to September 20th, when police first arrested Sarah McQuillin for murder. That's when this dark story truly began to unfold, revealing a sequence of events that would shock even veteran homicide investigators.
4:30.
But when they called her, she confessed to the first one. But I'm guessing she didn't say anything about this one. If she's guilty of this one.
Yeah.
Parked for like 40 minutes. I want to call it soon.
That's her.
Oh, yeah, she got...
Jerry Cardin was 64 years old when he was murdered. A Louisville resident, Jerry lived alone in his home, which became the scene of a brutal killing. According to police reports and Sarah's subsequent confession, she shot and stabbed Jerry to death inside his own residence.
You can't even reach it, but where there's a roll and there's insulation, you can see a garbage bag underneath it and maggots.
I mean, yeah, there's something left, but what is it?
Yeah, I mean, too much of a coincidence.
True.
I told Sarge before I left the division, I was like, is she becoming a Black Widow?
The violence was excessive. 2 different weapons, multiple wounds, suggesting either rage or determination to ensure the victim didn't survive. After killing Jerry, Sarah allegedly dragged or carried his body to the crawl space beneath his home, concealing it among the darkness and debris where she hoped it would never be found. But Sarah made a critical mistake. Instead of fleeing the scene immediately, she began taking items from Jerry's home. Personal belongings, possibly valuables, and most importantly, his truck. On September 27th, police spotted Jerry Cardin's truck being driven through Louisville.
Contact with that said they hadn't seen him. Number 4?
Number 4.
Number 3? Okay.
And then I talked to the mom this morning, and she says it has been missing. She didn't tell me how long.
I got her number.
Yeah.
Hello? Hey, sir. This is Martin. Hey, I'm out here on...
Behind the wheel was Sarah McQuillin. When officers pulled her over and searched the vehicle, they found something extraordinary in the truck bed: surveillance equipment and footage that Sarah herself had stolen from Jerry's home. This footage would become crucial evidence, as it allegedly showed Sarah moving through Jerry's house after his death, systematically removing items and loading them into his truck. During questioning, Sarah broke down and confessed to killing Jerry Cardin.
Ooh. Yeah.
Need a light?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a light.
Need a light?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Right.
She admitted to stabbing the 64-year-old man to death and acknowledged hiding his body in the crawl space. She also confessed to using a firearm during the commission of the crime, a gun that investigators later recovered from her purse during the arrest. The confession seemed to close the case quickly. Police had their suspect, they had physical evidence, and they had a confession.
You know how these old houses have that crawl space, like there's the basement and then there's like the dirt crawl space that sits up.
Yeah, like a
There's
shelf.
a bunch of crap that's shoved back in there, like old insulation, foam mats.
Yeah.
Just looks like stuff that they've ripped out, when they did remodeling and just chucked it over there. There's a bag buried underneath all that has got whatever's permeating that smell through the room. That's where it's at.
Oh, okay.
It's buried underneath all that stuff.
On top of that.
On top of that little shelf that's down there.
Yeah.
So
And you can hear the fire.
But what investigators didn't know yet was that this was only half of the story. While Sarah was confessing to Jerry Carden's murder, another body lay hidden in another crawl space across town. A body that had been there even longer, waiting to be discovered. The call that came into Louisville Metro Police on September 27th was unlike typical welfare checks. The landlord explained that 39-year-old Douglas Brooks, one of his tenants, hadn't been seen since September 15th.
Apparently it reached the high hill. How would you guys describe the smell?
I mean, it smells like a dead animal.
Dead animal. Okay.
Smells to me like a dead animal.
I mean, it smells bad.
Never smelled a dead person.
But it's,
so I don't
as
know
soon
how
as
to
you
compare
walk
it.
in that door down there, you smell
Oh
it.
yeah. It'll
Okay.
knock you out.
And other tenants have been complaining of the same smell?
Yes.
Nearly 2 weeks earlier, Douglas's mother had been calling frantically, unable to reach her son by phone. She told the landlord about Douglas's relationship with Sarah McQuillin, the woman who had just been arrested for murdering Jerry Carden. The landlord had additional concerns. Multiple tenants in the building had been complaining about a terrible smell permeating from the basement area. Neighbors reported that Sarah and Douglas had a volatile relationship characterized by loud, violent arguments that frequently resulted in police calls. The coincidence was too significant to ignore. A missing man, last seen around September 15th.
Big living something.
this makes me think of all those crime shows, where they're digging around and then somebody finds a body and then everybody's like, oh God, the smell, right? It's like, no, you will smell it long before you ever find it.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't not finished.
Yeah.
Tell me what time you got to
Detectives here now. Detectives about to get into it.
Who was romantically involved with a woman who had just confessed to murdering and hiding another man in a crawl space. When the landlord arrived at the property that morning to change the locks due to Douglas's unpaid rent, he and 2 maintenance workers decided to investigate the source of the smell. They entered Douglas's apartment first, finding it empty but otherwise unremarkable. Then they went down to the basement. The moment they opened the door to the crawl space area, the smell hit them like a physical force. As they searched through the cluttered, debris-filled space with flashlights, they found it.
I mean, too much of a coincidence.
True.
I told Sarge before I left the division, I was like, is she becoming a Black Widow? Killed 2 guys,
Yeah.
put them in garbage bags, put them in basements or crawl spaces?
Yeah, she did.
Possibly.
Who called
Yeah.
it in?
Dog came over here because they were like, hey,
His family called.
Mom hasn't seen her son since.
A large garbage bag, partially concealed beneath old carpet and ceiling tiles, covered in maggots. They immediately backed out and called 911, reporting their discovery and the connection to Sarah McQuillin. Within minutes, patrol officers were dispatched to the scene. The officers who responded to the call understood immediately that this wasn't an ordinary welfare check.
It's around the back, they said. They said the smell is god awful. No. Well, she put a guy in the crawl space without anybody noticing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were potentially dealing with a second murder victim connected to an active homicide case. The The responding officers interviewed the landlord and maintenance workers at length, documenting their timeline, their relationship to the missing tenant, and exactly what they had found in the basement. The witnesses described the smell as overwhelming, the distinct odor of decomposing flesh that experienced first responders recognized immediately. They described the bag as being deliberately hidden, buried beneath multiple layers of old building materials, pushed back into the darkest corner of the crawl space, where casual visitors would never venture.
Are we sure it's not coming from upstairs? No, they checked the apartment. They said the bag is got the one with the maggots on it.
Here, there's a bunch of junk here. There's a roll of pad or something. It's right next to the pad. You can see the maggots.
So you go left from the stairwell where he's... Okay. Yeah.
The maggots covering the bag indicated recent death, but the level of decomposition suggested the body had been there for at least a week or more. One officer made the decision to enter the basement himself to confirm what the witnesses had reported. Equipped with a flashlight, he descended into the dark, cramped space beneath the building. The smell, he would later report, was unmistakable death. The flies were thick in the air, swarming around the area where the bag lay hidden. He navigated through narrow passages, past old insulation, discarded furniture, and construction debris until he found the bag exactly where the witnesses had described.
Okay.
As soon as you
She don't care.
left here, there's a bunch of junk here. There's a roll of pad or something. It's right next to the pad. You can see the maggots.
So you go left from the stairwell where he's... Okay. Yeah.
Just go, as soon as you go in there, look to the left. There's a bunch of garbage.
Where that?
And there's a bag underneath some stuff.
I guess that's right here.
He didn't disturb the potential crime scene, but he confirmed what everyone already suspected. There was definitely something dead in that bag, something large enough to be human. The officer immediately backed out and called for homicide detectives. This was no longer a welfare check. This was a murder investigation. As patrol officers secured the scene and established a perimeter, homicide detectives were en route.
We don't want to bring homicide in here for an animal.
We're gonna have to dig. Is what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to pull it out. We gotta confirm it. We're gonna have to pull it out.
Okay, well,
Who spoke to homicide?
I didn't. They said they're...
Call them back and be like, you want us to undo that. Just verify.
The parallels between this discovery and the Jerry Carden case were striking and impossible to dismiss as coincidence. Two men, both connected to Sarah McQuillin. Two bodies, both hidden in crawl spaces. Two disposal methods that showed deliberate concealment. Two murders within approximately 1 week of each other. Detectives arrived and immediately began processing the scene according to homicide protocols. The basement had to be treated as an active crime scene, which meant careful documentation before anything could be moved or disturbed. Crime scene photographers documented every angle. The medical examiner was called to attend the scene personally.
Actually shot it when they were trying to.
She admitted shooting the victim and placing him in the crawl space.
Pull a cover up.
What was that serial killer's name? A female, Charlize Theron played her, like where she uglied herself up to play her.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Kind of what she looks like.
A little bit.
This lady is crazy right here.
When investigators finally removed the debris covering the garbage bag and opened it, they found the remains of Douglas Brooks. Like Jerry Carden, Douglas had been stabbed to death. But this case had an even more horrifying detail that distinguished it from the first murder. Douglas Brooks had been decapitated. His head had been completely severed from his body and was not present in the bag. Despite extensive searches of the property, the surrounding area, and every location connected to Sarah McQuillin,
But most of them weren't any wider than that. So, as far as length.
But it was literally like dripping, like fat drippings.
He was on the floor?
No. So, you know how these old houses like have like that crawl space, like there's the basement and then there's like the dirt crawl space that sits up.
Yeah, like
There's a bunch of crap that's shoved back in there, like old insulation, foam mats.
Yeah.
Just looks like stuff that they've ripped out, like when they did remodeling and just chucked it over there.
Douglas Brooks' head was never recovered. The forensic evidence told a story of violence and attempted concealment. The condition of the body and the stage of decomposition helped investigators establish a timeline. Douglas had likely been killed around September 15th, the last day witnesses reported seeing him alive. This meant Sarah had killed Douglas first, hidden his body in this crawl space, and then, less than a week later, killed Jerry Cardin and used the same disposal method. The pattern suggested this wasn't impulsive violence. There was a methodology to how Sarah approached both murders and their aftermath. With Douglas Brooks' body recovered and identified, prosecutors now had evidence for multiple charges. Sarah McQuillin was charged with complicity to murder, second-degree complicity to manslaughter, 2 counts of abuse of a corpse, 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence, and theft. The evidence was substantial. Her confession to Jerry Cardin's murder, physical evidence linking her to both scenes, witness testimony about her relationships with both victims.
It's hard for like 40 minutes. I want to call it soon.
Oh, that's her.
No, yeah, she
I
got
see her
that.
doing this, and I'm like, well, I got
She kind of looks like the chick that used to be the serial murderer that they,
Then they brought the
the one that,
paddles out.
what was her name?
That's what I thought. Come to find out the paddles weren't working.
Sarah McQuillin.
And the surveillance footage showing her at Jerry's home after his death. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Sarah maintained aspects of her innocence through a legal mechanism called an Alford plea. This type of plea allows criminal defendants to accept that sufficient evidence exists for conviction while not explicitly admitting guilt to all charges. It's a compromise that avoids trial while acknowledging the strength of the prosecution's case.
I've seen him since September 15th, or something like that. Well, she decided to call today and have him come over here, and he was going to evict him anyways because he hasn't been paying rent.
The court accepted her Alford plea, and Sarah McQuillin was sentenced to 20 years in a Kentucky state prison. The case left many unanswered questions that continue to haunt investigators and the victims' families. What was Sarah's true motive for killing these 2 men? Was it financial, personal, or something darker? Why did she decapitate Douglas Brooks, but not Jerry Cardin? What happened to Douglas's head, and why did Sarah remove it? These questions may never be fully answered.
Okay.
Follow the flag.
Okay, well thank you. You don't have any tape or anything, do you, Crack?
What we do know is that the body cam footage captured in this case provides a rare, unfiltered look at how homicide investigations unfold in real time. From initial 911 call to crime scene discovery, from patrol officers making initial assessments to homicide detectives taking over the investigation. It shows the reality of police work when confronting human evil and the methodical process of building a case that would ultimately put a killer behind bars for 2 decades.